Welcome to Talking Eurotrash with me, your host Brendan Murray. By the time you see this show, we'll have a new World Series of Poker main event champion. There are 3 Europeans at the final table: Philip Hilton from Denmark, Alex Kravchenko from Russia, and John Kalmar from England. And the very best of luck to all of them. There's $8.5 million for the winner, 5 millionaires will be made, and the best that we can hope for is that the champion will be a fine representative for the game. This is my last show from Las Vegas. It's been a grueling 6 weeks. Thanks for tuning in, and I look forward to seeing you all again on the European Tournament Trail later in the year. Now, earlier today I spoke with one of the true English gentlemen of the game, one of the great characters. Here's what happened. I'm delighted to be joined today by one of the great characters of the English game, a great ambassador for the sport, and probably the hardest working man in poker, Marty Wilson. Marty, thanks for joining me today.
Oh, that was lovely.
How flattering was that?
That was absolutely lovely.
It's the one and only time you'll ever hear that from me.
Yeah, thank you very much, Brendan.
But it's true. You've been over here now for a few weeks as well. You've been the Ladbrokes an ambassador and running the poker lounge for them. You glad it's all over, or almost all over?
I am glad. I want to get home. I want to see my little boy. My little boy's had a dog while I've been away, a little Jack Russell.
He had it himself? Or?
No, he didn't have it.
That's a miracle.
Well, his original dog died. Well, I had to have him put down, and we'd had him 12 years.
Yeah,
and my boys grew up with his dog.
Right, yeah.
So I said to him, we're never having another one. I can't go through that heartache again.
Yeah.
So every day he used to go to the dog pen and walk the dogs for the people. And while I've been away, he's come back with some sob story, and he's got a Jack Russell dog, so I've got that to go back to.
Brilliant. Well, something else you might have to look forward to is our man John Kalmar at the final table as we speak. They've, I think, played down to 5 people. John's still there. You'd know him from the scene in England. You'd know him as Scally, probably.
Oh, I was with him not... 7, 8, 9, 10 nights ago, I forget, because I've been here that long.
Yeah.
Well, I'm one of these guys who knows that every free buzz is and every cheap bottle of beer.
Right.
So I've caught the free buzz from the Rio to Caesars.
Yeah.
I've walked through Caesars, and there's a casino just across the road called O'Shea's. Right. And it's the cheapest beer you'll get. Yeah, and it's also the cheapest food. Yeah. So I'm in there playing a 5-cent machine, getting my free bottle of beer, and who walks in? Scally.
Right.
And he's down, he's not on the floor, he's underneath it.
Really,
but he's really in trouble, and he said, I'm going home, I'm going to change my flight, and anyway, it was $600 to change his flight.
Yeah.
So he said he might as well hang on, and with the $600, play the last ever Super Satellite.
Yeah.
So he played the last Super Satellite,
wow.
He got the seat, right, and now he's up and running, and he's
a millionaire.
He's a millionaire now, yeah.
Now they got down to the last 5 players. We're all dollar millionaires. What do you know about his style of play? I believe he's a very aggressive player.
I watched him on the cruise. I went on the cruise with him last January.
Is that the one he came 4th in? He won
third, I think.
Third or something. So
yeah.
he won over 100 grand at that.
But it was like a 3-day event, and he led the tournament every day.
Wow.
He was chip leader day 1, day 2 and day 3.
Yeah.
So, I mean, to hold on to a chip lead is really hard.
Absolutely, and I know he's yo-yoed, having watched the live updates and things over the last couple of days. Sometimes he's been the short stack, other times he's been the chip leader. He doesn't seem to mind whether he has chips or not. The boy can obviously play.
Well, he's been in more pots than an English missionary. He seems to be pushing his chips in and out, and it's done him proud, to be fair.
Yeah, absolutely. So when you get back home, you have not only the dog to look forward to, but the Ladbrokes Poker Million will be coming up. A very big tournament on the European circuit, very popular, televised, and you're very well known for that.
That's really hard work. It's like 15, 16 hour day. Everything has to be spot on. It's probably the favourite job I enjoy doing the most, but it really takes it out of me. It's a graft. And last year, an unknown won it from Northampton.
That's right, yeah.
Raj, and the guy's become famous overnight.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we've had some illustrious winners off it in the past. John Duffy springs to mind.
Yeah, he was the first. I was at the first ever Poker Million when he won it. I was one of the runners.
He would have been a young lad back then, probably.
Yeah, he was. I remember him. I was absolutely broken. He said he used to buy me a bottle of beer in the interval just to keep me going. But I was rooting for him, and I ended up. I borrowed a few quid, and I did some betting and laying on the final, and I kept him to myself.
Right, very good.
Yeah, and I had a clean book, and I ended up winning 15,400, I think.
Nice touch.
So I had a nice day there.
You could buy a few dogs with that.
Yeah, I don't know more dogs, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no. You're a veteran of Vegas. You've been coming here for years. As you say, you know the lie of the land, and it's a very sort of tough town to get around in. What have the highlights of this year been for you?
Oh, I've got in the Guinness Book of Records for the 5th time while I've been here, and it was actually filmed because I've always been good at throwing cards.
Right, yeah.
You know, well, when I was a single man, I used to sit in my mum's front room, and it was 35 foot long. And I used to put a vase like on the windowsill, and I used to sit in the far chair, and I used to throw the cards across, hit the curtain, and hope they drop in the vase.
Yeah.
And my ambition was to get 52 out of 52, but I never managed it. I think I
What was
got
your highest?
I think I got 49, right?
Oh,
But he passed a few hours.
Some record.
But what I did was, I went on the Voodoo Lounge this week, right, and I threw a card out. But what happens with the contours, it brings the cards back in and they stick in the windows.
Okay.
It's like if you went to the Grand Canyon and you tried to throw one out, right, it comes back in
again.
and it cashes in the bushes.
Yeah.
So I had a 7 or 8 attempts, and it was the Ace of Diamonds, and I signed it, and anyway, I threw it, and it went about 30 or 40 foot, and it went the other way.
Wow.
And we had a search party out looking for it. I think it took us about 4 hours.
Wow.
And it was 151 metres out
Oh,
measured.
and that's a record.
Well, the previous record was 61 metres.
Wow. Good Lord, that's quite the distance. I mean, you're a guy who's set records all over the place. You've played poker all over the world as well. I suppose people see you on TV and maybe forget that you're a very serious player as well. You played in one of the events early on at this series. Not only do you play Hold'em, you play Omaha very well. You've won in Australia, you've won in Northern Europe, Eastern Europe, Las Vegas. You're a one-man travelling poker machine.
Oh yeah, I've lived on silver paper, peas and stout. I know how to live for nothing. I've slept in hotel doorways, and I've been in the main event here. I mean, I can get around Vegas for nothing. I know you can actually get to Sam's Town now. Do you know where Sam's Town is?
No idea.
Okay, there's a free buzz behind Harrow's now. Not many people know this, right? There's a free buzz behind Harrow's, and Sam's Town is about 25 miles out of Vegas. You know where the plaza is? You hang a right at the plaza, and you just keep going and going, and you get through all these. Where they sell caravans and people are living in cars, and then you come to Sam's Town. And Sam's Town is where the Cowboys play, right? And you'll see them, they come in with a cowboy hat and the spurs, and they tie the horse around the back like the old Western style days. And you can have refried beans, a bottomless cup of coffee, some gravy and a biscuit for $1.99.
Wow.
Hey,
Best meal in time.
And you can get there for nothing.
Yeah, I bet it tastes damn good as well.
Yeah, I always track them, because they've always got a cowboy band on a weekend, and hand me down that can of beans, I'm throwing them away. And it's a great day out.
Fantastic. Well, listen, Marty, I really appreciate you coming in today. It's been a long, grueling series for both of us and everyone involved in working for it. So you have a safe trip back home, and I'll see you back probably at the World Series of Poker London before too long.
I might see you at the Poker Million.
Yeah, absolutely.
I might find
Make
some card
you
players.
stick an invite in for me, and we'll throw some card players out there. Marty, it was my pleasure.
Great stuff, Brendan. Thanks for your help.
I've been Brendan Murray. This is Talking Eurotrash for the last time in Las Vegas. The next time you see us, we'll be back in Europe. Thanks for joining us.